For decades, you've been told that smoking kills, that it's disgusting, that only losers do it. But what if I told you that might all be part of a carefully crafted lie? Today, we're diving into the truth they've buried, the real reason smoking went from symbol of power to public enemy number one. This video isn't about telling you to smoke. It's about telling you to think, to ask questions, to wonder who actually benefits from keeping you afraid. Because once upon a time, smoking meant freedom, rebellion, genius. So, what changed and why? The answers will flip your view upside down. The thing about smoking is, it's kind of amazing. Yeah, that sounds irresponsible, and it probably is. But if we're going to talk about smoking, we might as well be honest. Smoking creates a short-term problem and then instantly solves it. Once your brain gets used to nicotine, usually within about 72 hours, you start to feel itchy, anxious, and on edge without it. But take just one drag, and instantly, your brain lights up. You feel calm, clear, and honestly kind of great. But it's not just about the physical addiction. Smoking can actually help you focus when you're working. It gives you a built-in excuse to take little breaks, which mentally can be a real lifesaver. It fights boredom. It kills your appetite. It smooths out the rough edges of a bad day and makes the good moments feel even better. And socially, it's kind of magic. Smokers always end up finding each other, stepping outside, sharing lighters, chatting like old friends. Plus, your lips are packed with nerve endings, and let's be real, putting something between them just feels deeply satisfying. Smokers always end up finding each other. There's this unspoken bond, a shared ritual, and there's something oddly satisfying about it too. Your lips are among the most sensitive parts of your body, and placing something between them, warm, smooth, steady, taps into something almost primal. So now that we've given smoking a brutally honest intro, let's go one step further. Let's light a cigarette together and actually feel why it hits the way it does, and break down exactly what happens inside your body when that smoke rolls in. Here's the worst part. A cigarette is just dried tobacco leaves, soaked in chemicals that make it burn slower and smoother. That gives your body more time to absorb the nicotine and flavors without the smoke feeling too harsh. So, here we go. Let's light up. Cigarette smoke is mostly gas. 95% of it is just things like carbon dioxide and water vapor. The other 5% is where the magic and the danger lives, a dense mix of particles called tar. Inside that tar are powerful carbon and nitrogen compounds, each packed with nicotine. As you inhale, billions of those tiny particles race through your mouth and throat, clinging to your tongue, your windpipe, your lungs, changing everything they touch. Instantly, your lungs work like giant inflatable sponges designed to breathe in air and filter out the bad stuff. They've got a natural defense system, C cells covered in tiny hair-like extensions called cilia, all coated in a thin layer of mucus. These cilia move in a synchronized rhythm, like a microscopic dance, sweeping away dust, bacteria, and other junk. But when smoke hits, things change. The toxic particles land in that mucus and turn it into a sticky brown gunk, freezing the dance in place and paralyzing the cilia. Now, the harmful stuff sinks deeper into your lungs, all the way down to the alveoli, tiny balloon-like air sacs. And this is where the real breathing magic happens. These alveoli have super thin walls, specially designed so oxygen can move into your bloodstream and carbon dioxide can be pushed out. But now comes the twist. This is also where nicotine slips through. It glides past those delicate walls and straight into your blood, shooting up to your brain with insane speed, so fast it feels instant. And just like that, your brain lights up. Imagine it like a control board getting hit with every switch at once. Suddenly, your body floods with chemicals and signals. Epinephrine and cortisol kick your heart into high gear and put your body on alert. Dopamine rushes in, giving you that happy, chill feeling while cutting your appetite. Beta endorphins ease pain and melt away stress. It's wild. Like nicotine fires you up and calms you down all at the same time. You feel sharper, more focused. Your senses get a boost. Even simple things feel a little better. And then just like that, your whole body relaxes all at once. It's a rush that feels genuinely good, but your brain isn't just sitting back enjoying it. It immediately kicks into gear, trying to bring things back to baseline. It pushes against the nicotine's effects to restore balance. That works fine, as long as nicotine's still in your blood. But once the buzz wears off, your body is still stuck in overdrive, fighting against something that's no longer there. That's when the imbalance hits. And the more you smoke, the more aggressively your brain tries to push back. That's exactly why nicotine is so addictive. Your body adapts fast, and now it needs nicotine just to feel normal. You're not chasing a high anymore. You're chasing yourself. If that were the only thing smoking did well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But nicotine never comes alone. It brings thousands of other chemical tag-alongs, heavy hitters like cadmium, lead, arsenic, and cyanide. You've also got hydrogen peroxide and nitrogen oxides tearing through your tissues, causing damage wherever they land. Carbon monoxide steps in to block your blood from carrying oxygen efficiently. And your lungs? They start struggling hard. The C cells, your natural cleaners, get overwhelmed by sticky tar. Some can't keep up. Some die off entirely. Your alveoli, those delicate little air sacs, are incredibly sensitive. They're not built for this kind of abuse. Under too much stress, some of them literally burst, popping like tiny balloons and leaving behind damage that your body can't fix. Your system knows something's wrong and tries to clean up fast. Goblet cells start pumping out extra mucus to trap and remove the tar, but that extra mucus just makes it harder to breathe. So your body kicks in the backup plan. You start coughing, trying to force all that gunk out of your lungs. Meanwhile, your immune system jumps into action. Special cells called macrophages show up. These guys are like your lungs' garbage collectors, eating up the toxic tar particles. Smokers have way more of them because, well, their lungs are full of toxic trash. But nicotine slows the macrophages down, making them sluggish and less effective. And it gets worse. Instead of just cleaning up, they sometimes lose control and vomit out harsh chemicals that dissolve the lung tissue itself, leaving behind tiny wounds that scar as they heal. And scars in your lungs? Yeah, that's bad news, especially if you're a fan of breathing. Nicotine cranks up your heart rate while signaling blood vessels all over your body to tighten up. At the same time, toxic chemicals from cigarette smoke get trapped inside you, causing countless tiny injuries throughout your system. Each of those wounds becomes a scar, and those scars leak proteins that can trigger random blood clots. That makes your blood vessels even narrower. And the narrower they get, the more pressure they put on your heart, which now has to work overtime just to keep your blood moving. Meanwhile, right under your skin, those same chemicals activate enzymes that start breaking down collagen, the stuff that keeps your skin firm, smooth, and elastic. As it breaks down, your skin starts to fold and wrinkle. The result? You age faster and look older way sooner than you should. But the worst part might be what's happening to your immune system, not just in one area, but all across your body. It goes into overdrive, reacting to all those tiny wounds like it's under attack, damaging healthy cells in the process. And while it's busy doing all that, nicotine tells it to slow down, making it sluggish and way worse at fighting actual diseases. We could keep going. There's so much more. But you get the point. In the end, every single one of your organs ends up under massive stress. And over time, each one suffers some kind of permanent damage. Fats start getting trapped in the scarred lining of your blood vessels, slowly choking the space where blood should flow. Over time, those vessels get narrower and tighter, and your organs start to suffocate from the lack of oxygen. Your heart, already worn out from years of strain, has to beat harder just to force blood through all that extra resistance. That pushes your blood pressure even higher until fluids start leaking out of your vessels and into your lungs, making it harder and harder to breathe. At the same time, your risk of a blood clot blocking a vital artery goes through the roof, which means a heart attack or stroke could hit at any moment. Nearly every long-term smoker ends up developing chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It's as brutal as it sounds. The alveoli in your lungs are permanently destroyed, so you're always out of breath, and you never really breathe freely again. And once it starts, there's no going back. It only gets worse from there. But the final blow? Cancer. Smoking hits you with a double whammy. First, it floods your lungs and your entire body with over 70 chemicals that are known to cause cancer. Second, it shuts down the very immune cells that are supposed to detect and kill cancer before it spreads. So you're not just getting poisoned, you're also disabling your body's ability to fight back. And that's exactly why cancer is so common in smokers. In the end, smoking is uniquely dangerous compared to almost anything else you're legally allowed to do. On average, smokers lose about 10 years of life, which means some might lose just 5, but others lose 20 or even 25. You never know which one you'll be, but the damage starts way before death. It eats away at your health span, the part of life where you feel good and function normally, leaving you sick, tired, and struggling for a much longer time. So, why don't smokers just stop? Seems obvious, right? But that question completely misses the point. People often think smokers are reckless or weak-willed, but that's not fair. Nicotine is one of the most intensely addictive substances on earth, both physically and psychologically. Once it's in your system, you're not just forming a habit, you're entering a lifelong battle. The physical cravings only last a few days, about 3, but the mental grip, that's the real monster. Smoking becomes tied to your routine, your emotions, your social life. It's how you take breaks, calm down, connect with others. And here's the kicker. Almost everyone who starts smoking does it as a teenager, when the brain is still wiring itself for life. That's when the trap is set. The tobacco industry depends on hooking people while their brains are still vulnerable, because without new smokers, it would vanish. That's the strategy. Get people addicted early to the good-feeling buzz of nicotine and lock them in for life. Today, around 1 billion people will light up a cigarette. That's an overwhelming number. But there's a bit of good news. Things are moving in the right direction. Back in 2000, about 34% of adults smoked. By 2020, that dropped to 23%. Still, in 2023 alone, smoking killed roughly 8 million people. It's easy to feel hopeless when you hear that, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are real proven ways to quit, and many people succeed. We've linked some solid resources in the video description if you or someone you know wants to try. Here's some hope. If you quit by age 35, your life expectancy becomes nearly identical to someone who never smoked. And even if you're older, quitting can still add years to your life. It's kind of like climate change. Even if the damage is already there, every bit of progress matters. Now, we're not here to judge. We're not the health police. You do you. Just know exactly what you're doing when you light that cigarette. For most of you watching this, you don't even smoke. So maybe just never start. Because, yeah, smoking fixes a temporary feeling, but it leaves you with a pile of permanent problems in return. And there you have it. Smoking is one of the few legal things we know will kill us, and yet we keep doing it. Not because we're weak, but because we've been programmed to, since we were teenagers, by a $1 trillion industry that profits from hijacking our brains and keeping us hooked. But if they could hack your mind to get you addicted, who says you can't hack it back? The truth is, your brain is a freaking supercomputer. It just needs the right upgrade. And that's exactly what the Genius Wave is about. It's my brand new digital product designed to unlock your brain's full potential, boost focus, sharpen thinking, and increase mental clarity like never before. Think of it as a full system reboot for your mind. More productivity, more creativity, more control over your habits, your impulses, and your future. The Genius Wave has finally arrived, and right now, for a limited time, you can get in with a special launch offer that might disappear at any moment. The link's in the description. Check it out now. Because people who wait usually don't change. The choice is yours. Keep living on autopilot or ride this wave of mental power that could change everything. See you on the other side. Ocean Brain.